Welcome to today's City Club Forum. My name is Lee Friedman, and I have the privilege of serving as president of the City Club of Cleveland. For 95 years, and from the heart of downtown Cleveland, Ohio, the City Club has served as one of the nation's premier public podiums for civic dialogue about the most important topics of our day. It's my pleasure this afternoon to introduce our distinguished guest. Eric Fingerhut was appointed the 7th Chancellor of the Ohio Board of Regents in 2007. He is well known for his intellect, energy, passion, and ability to build strong relationships. His goal as Chancellor is to turn Ohio into a global leader in higher education. Chancellor Fingerhut has made it clear that he will not flinch from suggesting broad and systematic changes to approaches in higher education to move the state forward. He has worked closely with the administration and the Ohio legislature to dramatically increase funding for Ohio's universities and colleges and to put a freeze on tuition increases and to boost financial aid. He gained experience in higher education as a senior lecturer at Case Western Reserve University. At Baldwin Wallace College, he served as Director of Economic Development, Education, and Entrepreneurship. He is recognized as one of the leading experts in state government in Ohio and is a bipartisan advocate for innovative economic development strategies. Chancellor Fingerhut represented the eastern Cuyahoga County as an Ohio State Senator in 1991. Then, in 1993, he was elected to the U.S. House of Representatives. He was re-elected to the Ohio Senate in 1999 and served until 2006 and was the ranking Democrat on the Finance Budget Committee. Chancellor Fingerhut graduated from Cleveland Heights High School in 1977 and has been a leading innovator in the public and not-for-profit arenas in Northeast Ohio for over 2 decades. He was a staff attorney at the Legal Aid Society of Cleveland and is an associate with Hahn, Lozier, and Parks. Additionally, he served as the Associate Director of Cleveland Works and as the Acting Director and Senior Fellow at the Center for Community Solutions. His book, Making Ohio Great Again, was published in 2004. Please join me in welcoming to our podium Chancellor Eric Fingerhut.
Thank you, Lee. It is such a pleasure and an honor, as always, to be at the City Club. I also have to tell you what a special honor it is to be here, to be the speaker at the Richard and Patricia Pogue Endowed Forum. Dick is a mentor and someone who has contributed not only to this community in so many ways, but to higher education in the state of Ohio in so many ways. And Dick, it's an honor for me to be part of this forum. There are many people, of course, who deserve acknowledgement, but as Chancellor of Higher Education in Ohio, the constituents, I have some constituents here who I must acknowledge, and that is the great presidents of our public universities with whom I work on a daily basis. We have here the president of Cleveland State University, President Michael Schwartz. President Schwartz, thank you. President Luis Perenza of the University of Akron, President Jerry Sue Thornton of Cuyahoga Community College, President Lois Nora of the Northeast Ohio University's College of Medicine, and if I have missed anybody, I'm looking around the room and I apologize. We also have many of the leaders of our distinguished private institutions of higher education, leaders of Case Western Reserve University, and leaders of many of our fine colleges and universities across the region. Thank you all for what you're doing for higher education, and thank you for being here today. Well, it's been just over a year since I was last here, but it's been one of the busiest years of my life. When I spoke to you on May 4th, 2007, I had only recently been appointed Chancellor by Governor Strickland. When Governor Strickland called me to ask me to be Chancellor, he described his vision to me, which was to build a system of higher education that would make Ohio a leader in the 21st century global economy. A higher education system, he said, where our colleges and universities would collaborate, not compete, to provide a high-quality, affordable education to every Ohioan. This was the vision I brought to you last year. I return today with a specific, detailed plan to turn that vision into a reality. I'm also pleased to report to you that the implementation of that plan is well underway. Now, last year I was also the bearer of welcome news that after years of neglecting higher education to our great detriment here in Ohio, the political leadership of our state had reached a bipartisan consensus about the importance of our colleges and universities to the state's future. Now, I would not have blamed you if you were a bit skeptical when I brought that news to you last May, but any doubts you had surely were erased soon after, when the Democratic governor and the Republican-controlled state legislature unanimously agreed on a new state budget that contained record funding increases of $533 million for higher education. The increase allowed us, among other critical steps, to freeze tuition for all in-state students at Ohio's 13 public universities and 23 community colleges for 2 full years. Now, the tuition freeze was terribly significant, but no one, not Governor Strickland, not the legislators, and certainly not me, no one was under the impression that we had solved the problem. What we did do was buy time to come up with a long-range strategy to revitalize our system of higher education. Now, as the person who was expected to come up with that strategy, I had plenty of ideas when I was here last year, but little yet in the way of specifics when I spoke to you. Those specifics are now available, 140 pages worth to be exact. They are contained in my report to the governor and to the Ohio General Assembly that was submitted on March 31st. I have been very gratified by the enthusiastic reaction the report has received from state officials, from college and university presidents, from editorial boards, and from the public at large. If any of you would like to read all 140 pages in its entirety, you can go to our website, www.universitysystem.ohio.gov. But I want to emphasize that the report, for all the attention it has received, was just one step in an ongoing process. Many of the elements contained in the strategy were already in development before the plan was released, and we certainly haven't been sitting around admiring our handiwork since then. The report represents a vigorous, active agenda with measurable statistical benchmarks by which our performance can be held accountable. It doesn't recommend, it demands changes in the way our system of public higher education operates. Now, the most visible change in higher education in Ohio came last August, when Governor Strickland signed an executive directive creating the University System of Ohio, linking all the public institutions into a single cooperative framework. While the notion of a public university system is hardly radical in national terms, it represents a significant change in direction for Ohio. It is a declaration that the state can no longer afford to have its public institutions compete amongst themselves for students and resources, a practice that has too often led to mediocrity, duplication, and waste. The creation of the University System of Ohio recognizes that no single institution in higher education can do everything our citizens and our businesses need, but that all of our institutions, working collaboratively while building unique missions and centers of excellence, can meet the challenges this state faces. The University System of Ohio is a new way for the schools to think of themselves, and it's a new way for us to think about them. It is not only the public university or community college in your hometown that is your state school. Rather, all the schools in the University System of Ohio belong to all the people of Ohio. We take pride in all their accomplishments, want to see them all grow and flourish, and recognize that they all present excellent options for our own education and that of our families and friends. And so I want the residents here in Cleveland to not only know what is happening at Cleveland State University and at Cuyahoga Community College, but at the rest of your colleges and universities too. So, a few examples. Did you know that just days ago, the University of Toledo received a $2 million gift from the family of solar engineer and solar energy pioneer Harold McMaster to strengthen the university's reputation as a leader in that field?